Hello, my name is Partybug, and this is The Swindle, a game by Size 5 Games. It's pretty good. We're gonna play it. Congratulations, you have just learned the plot of The Swindle. That's it. That's all there is. We've got 100 days, i.e. 100 levels, to steal the Devil's Basilisk. We start off here on our airship over the city. Over to the left we can see our upgrade stand, but we're not going to mess with that for right now. For right now, we're going to start a heist. So the first area we are allowed to get to is the slums. Obviously, we will start there. So The Swindle is a 2D stealth 'em up. If you are familiar with the genre, you will probably catch on pretty quick to what's going on. There are enemies, they have cones of vision. You do not want to step into those cones. What you do want to do is blackjack people. You also want to take money. Because as we all know, British people, especially the poor ones, just leave stacks of cash lying around their houses. So the first level in The Swindle exists mostly as a tutorial. It's here to teach you two main things. The first thing it wants to teach you is about computers. We have a computer down here. The game will tell us to buy the hack skill and then hack computers for a big payout. So unfortunately, we can't do anything with that quite yet. But this is the only hint in the game that the hacking skill is the skill that is the thing you want the most. I would go so far as to say that the hacking skill is mandatory. The second thing the first level would usually teach us is that there are certain areas we could normally not access without certain tools. There don't seem to be any hidden rooms here, so it doesn't really show that off that well. So let's just get out of here. Now once you beat a level, it's decided whether a heist is successful or not. A successful heist is when you steal over 90% of the cash. You also get a ghost bonus for not being seen and getting all the cash, which gives you a bit of extra money. So even though I only stole about 100 pounds in the level, I'm coming away with 800. So let's head back to the upgrade stand and pick up some stuff. First of all, we're going to grab hacking level 1. Now at some point I will probably either go through all of these or at least post what they do in the thread, but for now we're just going to stick to the essentials. So the second thing we're going to buy is we're going to upgrade our double jumping, which will give us 1 extra jump. And then we'll head right back to the slums. So we've got a bit of heisting to do. There are about 4 essential upgrades we want before we move on to the next area. And to move on to the next area, we will need to make about 4,000 pounds. Which actually isn't that hard to do. We should be able to do it within probably 4 more days, presuming nothing goes terribly wrong. So now that we have the hacking skill, we can do this. And if you didn't notice there, I got about 700 pounds off of doing that, as opposed to picking up 22 out of the stacks of money lying around. So yeah, hacking is really the first skill you want to buy, and you will have enough money to buy it immediately, so do that. I suppose I can talk a little bit about these robot cop enemies. We'll be seeing them for the first few days. They are not particularly dangerous. They are the beginner enemy in the game. They walk really slow, their cone of vision isn't very big. They don't pose much of a threat unless they are in groups or unless they have very limited movement options. I'll talk about that a little more later when we see it. So here's a good example of an area we just can't reach yet. It's completely blocked off from all angles. You see there's a computer down there, which has a lot of money in it, and I would really like it. But unfortunately, we're going to need bombs to get to that. And I don't have bombs. So it's about time we get out of here. That was actually a really dangerous thing to do I just did. There is fall damage in this game. It seems completely arbitrary. Sometimes you can fall for a very small height and be killed. Sometimes you can fall a very long way like I did and be perfectly fine. It's really hard to tell how it works. So we got a bit more money. So let's hit the upgrade stand. We don't have quite enough to buy any bombs. And to get to the next district, the warehouse district, we need 4,000. But we do have enough to pick up the latest in technology, the bionic eye, which will let us look up and down. Ooh, technology! So our real goal before we hit the warehouse district is to pick up bombs, really. That's all we'll really need. So I haven't really shown off the double jump. This is how it works. You jump twice. It's pretty amazing. But in all seriousness, jumping is really good in this game. We'll see it come into play a bit later. But jumping is your most maneuverable option, and it will see you through a lot of hazards. So despite the dramatic zoom in here, there is actually no time limit on hacking computers. And also, even though it tells me directions to press, I can just mash the control stick in any direction without consequence. That will change later, but for right now, things are pretty loose around here. This could be a bit tricky. But yeah, that's where double jump comes in handy. Another tricky one here. But everything turned out quite alright. So I think that's all the stuff in the level. I didn't even get to show off bionic eyes. With bionic eyes, I can look down. And I can look up. Ah! Amazing. So yeah, we grabbed all the cash in the level. That counts as another successful heist. You'll notice there is an XP bonus. So every successful heist gives you 1 XP, and that XP will multiply the cash you make. So it's very important to keep your thief alive, because they can die, and then you will be starting all over. So I believe we have enough to pick up some bombs here. We do. And we are abruptly broke again. So I'm going to guess it's going to take about 2 more heists before we're ready to unlock the next area. But by day 94, you generally want to be out of the slums. Because, you know, the slums are kind of a joke. Can't make real good money here. So these guys are flying cameras. They are somewhat erratic, but pretty slow. Not a huge threat. Also, Pro Swindle... That guy just killed himself, so, like I said, not a huge threat. Sometimes they just like to fly into spike pits. You want to be careful with windows here, because guards can see through windows. Thankfully, they don't seem to mind the bodies of their compatriots just scatter all over the ground. This is kind of risky for just one lump of cash, but the 100% bonus is worth it. You also don't necessarily have to kill all the enemies in the level. Sometimes it's just a pain to do so. There is an upgrade later that will let you get money for killing people, but it's not really worth it. Let's just hit up another heist. No need to go back to the airship. So what I was in the middle of saying before, this guy is just upside down here. Doors are your friend in the Swindle. Always be polite, always shut doors. Guards will also start moving out of doors anytime you open them, so they just walk out into the street if you let them. That was... I just got very lucky there. So one thing I haven't talked about that you have probably noticed, all the levels in this game are procedurally generated, so no heist is ever the same. Sometimes that can make things like this, which is going to be a pretty tricky jump, especially considering there's two guys waiting right there, and a camera that just refuses to get into my hitbox. So, you know, we're going to go ahead and ignore that. Here's a good example. Here's a good place for me to use bombs. So bombs take a little while to set at their first level, and they blow up a square in every direction. We also got a new enemy type down there, the Wheel Cop. Wheel Cop has a longer cone of vision, but he's slower, at least when you're not spotted. When you are spotted, he's quite a bit faster. Also, here's a good trick. Your blackjack does have enough range to go across the small pit. Just be careful you don't walk into the pit and die. That will probably happen a few times. So this is a much safer angle to approach. One good thing to remember about the Swindle is you should always case the area before you go inside, because there are oftentimes easier routes than the front door. Windows are your friend. There's no reason to kill those guys. I think I got everything here, so let's just get out of here. Another trick you saw me take advantage of there is that if you cling to a wall, you actually get a bit higher jump going off of it. So you can use that to your advantage when you get stuck somewhere or need just a little bit of extra oomph. And that is another successful heist, bringing us to about 5,000 Skrilla. So let's head back to the airship and drop our fat cash into... First of all, let's get a wall stick upgrade. As you noticed, I was sliding all over the place on walls. We can fix that. And we're also going to pick up the security clearance upgrade, which gives us access to the next area, the warehouse district. And I think that's enough thieving for now. So we'll show off the warehouse district next time, and we'll see you then.